There's a building in downtown Cairo, a big one, known as Maspiro. It's home to Egypt's state-run television and radio networks and has been for 50 years. The army tanks that are parked outside are not just there to provide security, they are armored reminders of the special relationship between the state's sprawling media apparatus and the country's current rulers, the Supreme Council of the Armed Forces. However, over the past few months, political activists armed with an arsenal of citizen video collected by a group called Maspiro have been taking on the state media machine. Through a nationwide campaign known as Askar Kazaboon, which means the military are liars, they have found a simple, novel way to show people news footage that state-run television chooses to ignore. The Listening Post's Anna de Souza now on the project that projects pictures, Egypt's Askar Kazaboon.
Over a year since the fall of Hosni Mubarak, the streets of Cairo are still an occasional battleground between revolutionaries and SCAF, the ruling Supreme Council of the Armed Forces. And on the one-year anniversary of their revolution, activists turned their backs on celebrations in Tahrir Square and made their way instead to Maspiro, the headquarters of Egypt's state media. As night fell, they began to project videos against its walls that showed attacks on civilians by security forces.
The Kazaboon campaign decided to screen their footage in front of Maspiro, in front of the symbol of state television, as if to accuse the state establishment of failing to tell the truth about the military's lies and the military's violations.
Everyone can come by and watch it on their building, and it was incredibly beautiful to see images that show how the army and the state media have lied projected onto the building.
In the 3 months since the first Askar Kazaboon event, hundreds of screenings have taken place, spreading from Cairo all the way to America. They begin with marches, sweeping through the towns and cities, gathering pace and audience as they go, and always provoking a strong reaction.
The Kazaboon campaign is actually one of the most important things that are happening for the revolution because it's actually epitomizing the struggle between truth and lies. This is our struggle from the very beginning.
Kazaboon is a shocking campaign. It is not a campaign that goes around asking people what do you think. It is very shocking because the images are shocking.
Raw images filmed on the streets of Egypt were a huge part of the revolution and were broadcast worldwide. Yet until now, most Egyptians without access to the internet have had to rely on mainstream media. But the independent media collective Maspiro has been collecting and uploading user-generated footage and is feeding the roving Kazaboon projection campaign to bring those images to a wider audience.
One of the things that I think we've seen over the Egyptian revolution so far is the importance of alternative sources of media gathering. So many of the key and iconic images of the last year have been filmed by regular people on the streets. We got to a stage where we had enough footage and people working that we were starting to regularly start producing videos.
People get in contact with us. We help them and provide projectors when they want to arrange viewings, so they can take to the streets and show videos that prove that what is being broadcast on television is lies. The military are liars, and they are trying to get people to lose belief in the revolution.
You have people who are in denial totally, and even after when they watch the screenings, they'd say this is photoshopped and it's not real and so forth. But you also create doubt, and doubt is important because people will leave the screening and maybe go look for the truth.
Egypt's activists see themselves caught in an information war. Under SCAF, state media has not only seemingly ignored abuses by the security forces, but also sought to discredit those calling for the continuation of the revolution.
We were offered £100 each by a member of the 6th of April movement.
The media is constantly trying to pander to the state at a bare minimum, which at a time of huge social change is catastrophic. So the information battle is absolutely essential.
This year, that information battle has moved from outside Maspiro to within its very walls. Ida Soudi is a presenter on the state-run Nile network, but she's also one of a small group pushing for change from within.
Media played a shameful role that the Egyptian people will never forget. Before the revolution and after the revolution, state television is the voice of the government, is the voice of the authority.
لتهيئة المناخ الديمقراطي الحقيقي.
The real change will never happen unless people who work in media, they decide to change. Because stability and security will never come from spreading rumors. And I don't see why it's that difficult, for God's sake. It's easy.
1 year after the revolution, many Egyptians remain unwilling to criticize the military and say their primary concerns are economic stability and security.
We want things to calm down so that everyone can make a living. Our banks are being robbed and thugs roam the streets. We must thank the military council. They are good people.
Go and take a look at the kind of people that are in Tahrir Square these days. I was there on the 25th of January. These are not the same people. The majority of them are not good people.
There are some people who don't trust the revolution. They trust a stable government, and a stable government is SCAF.
We're not doing anything wrong. People who are doing things that are wrong are the people who are killing, are the people who are torturing, are the people who are lying. If you're complicit with a lie, you're complicit with a lie. There's no way out of that.
Both Keziboon and Musireen have grown since they began. But as they are all too aware, so has the risk they will become a target. Yet the video activists refuse to project those fears into their campaign.
We expect that they will attack sometimes. It is understandable, we're ready for it.
It's a big concern, the fear that you might be shut down, but ultimately you have to think about the fact that there are people dying on the streets for what they believe in. We have to take risks. We have to take risks. If we don't take risks, nothing will happen.
As they fight back against the dominant media narrative, Egypt's activists have gone from disempowered viewers to citizen journalists, to where they are today, the self-proclaimed guardians of their own revolution. As for state media, the opposition say the writing is on the wall. At Maspiro, so too are the pictures.